All righty. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good to see everybody this morning. I'm back home.
Yeah,
and,
darn it.
After a long trip.
I'm back home too.
But anyway, everybody's here. Steve and Dennis and Jerry and Bill. And good to see everybody in the chat. And Steve, why don't you run down chat?
I could do that. Good morning. Hey, Steve Anderson. Good morning. How are you, buddy? Hillbilly Railroad, check CDP, Rob T-Man, Allison. Good morning, Allie. John, Grandpa Rails. Let's see who else we got. I think that's it, right? Anybody else? Did I miss somebody? Nope.
I wasn't watching, so I don't know.
I think that's it.
Some Steve Arnold guy and some Otter Creek place.
Yeah, I don't know who those guys are.
Brenda and I even went over a little creek in Montana, and it was Otter Creek. And I passed over it the first time, and I said, "Oh, I should have got a picture of that." And then, said, well, we were going like 65, 70 miles an hour on this little 2-lane road, and we passed it again. And so I told her, I said, "Get ready with your camera." So we started coming up to another creek and passed it, and she didn't get the picture. I thought, well, crap, 3 times and we still didn't get it, We passed it again. So we passed over it 4 times, and she finally got the picture. And then we saw another Otter Creek in South Dakota or Nebraska. I can't remember which. I think South Dakota somewhere. Another one named Otter Creek. So you're well represented in the West, Dennis.
Yes. Hey, where's your coffee cup, Clark?
Not only in my hometown, but also across the West. Because I don't know if you've ever noticed, but when you drive through my town, out the bridge that you cross going west, that's Otter Creek.
Oh, okay. I've never noticed that. And I've been through there several times, but I've never noticed that. Here's this cup? Train Mountain cup. So
nice.
Steve got the lady to open up the gift shop while we were there.
Oh, it was funny.
But she said we had to buy stuff. And I said, well,
she was reluctant because they normally don't have it open, and she's running the front office. And I said, I got some friends out here. Any chance we get the gift shop open? And she says, well, I won't have anybody to answer the phone. Can you guarantee they'll buy something? And I said, yeah, I guarantee it. I didn't realize how much. You guys dropped about $300 then. She was really happy after she shut down, closed. I mean, she.
four of us, spent some money in there. So
you guys dropped some serious coin there.
Wasn't there a lot of people there that day?
Actually, there were quite a few. Yeah.
Not have the gift shop open.
Well, they only do that for the meats and stuff.
Nobody to man it. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody to be in there, be in the gift shop the whole time.
Yeah.
But Steve got her to open it up for us, and we went in, and we were the only ones in there.
Chuck got a bunch of stuff. Chuck, you going to make a video of what you got?
Yeah, Chuck bought stuff.
Chuck bought stuff. I think Steve bought stuff. Yeah. I think everybody but Steve. Arnold bought
Steve
stuff.
Arnold,
yeah.
He had all that stuff, so he didn't need to buy anything, but
now I got my cup.
I hold out a pretty good sack.
He doesn't need to.
But we had a blast at Train Mountain. One of the guys that's there, even though Steve's engine wasn't running, he didn't get that running that day. But one of the other guys gave us a trip around, and it was a lot of fun. But I could have fallen asleep on that train. I mean, it's just like being on a real train. You're sitting there rocking back and forth, and it's click and clack, and it was, it was in the shade most of the time. If I'd have had lunch or something before we went on the train ride, I'd have probably fallen asleep.
Oh yeah,
but, it's a neat place to go. If you ever get a chance to go there, drop by and see it. And they give train rides all the time. So
the weather was perfect. Little windy.
The weather was great. Yeah, no fires. Yeah, it was fun.
That's cool.
It was a really good trip. Got to meet Chuck and
windy
Steve.
By Oregon standards or windy by Oklahoma standards?
The weather, by Oklahoma standards, it was supreme while I was there. Now, Steve said we brought in the cool air.
Oh, yeah. It was actually very pleasant up there.
We were gone 15 days. The only day it was as hot as it is when we got back here, which was 103 last night or yesterday evening, was Vegas. Vegas and Hoover Dam. We went over Hoover Dam. It was 107 at Hoover Dam, and it was 105 or 6 in Vegas where we stopped. But every place after that was no more than 80 degrees. There were some mornings we got up, it was 40 degrees. We got up in Flagstaff to go Grand Canyon that morning. It was 41 or 2 in the morning.
Right.
It only got up to maybe 60 by lunchtime. So it was a good trip. And everything north of Tahoe, once we got to Tahoe and everything north of there, everything was cool. We didn't run into 80 degrees again until we got to Nebraska.
Oh, God, the weather here was perfect while you were here.
Well, we had great weather the whole time. We ran into rain north of Coeur d'Alene, and then we ran into rain the day we went to Rushmore, we ran into a little bit of rain there, but not bad. It was real spotty. And then we ran into a little bit of rain the next day coming home. But for the most part, we had nice weather, completely nice weather.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a fun trip. The car made it, so.
Good.
We had a slight problem with the air conditioning freezing up one day. We started losing the fan was going full blast, but it wasn't blowing out, and we couldn't figure out why. And so we shut it off, and we just put it on. We just put it on fan, and we've got a sunroof that we never use, but I cracked it open, and within 2 minutes it was blowing full blast again. So I thought, the coil froze up and the air couldn't get through, and that only happens when we start getting altitude. It happened to me going to Colorado, and it happened on this trip, but we were at much higher altitude than we are here. Because coming home yesterday we drove from Kearney, Nebraska, all the way home, blowing that air conditioner not full blast, but cold all the way, and never lost it coming home in the heat.
What was the final mileage?
Altitude it would do that.
What was the final mileage count?
Oh, I forgot to look. I know it's at least 5,500 miles.
Wow.
Because it was, I've got 2 trip computers on there, and we did one for the total trip, and then we did one from when we left Grants Pass, and that one was at 28. So we did 2,800 miles after we left Steve. But we had about 27 going out, 27 and change going out.
Wow.
Going out, but
I think you rolled over 2,600 when we were headed over to the coast. Or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
something like that.
But Steve was a great host, and it was, like I say, it was fun to meet Chuck and Steve Anderson and Chuck's boss. Chuck's boss was a hoot. That guy had more jokes than a joke book. I mean, he was crazy.
I haven't heard that many jokes since I worked for the railroad.
he was crazy, but we had a great time, and better than a great time. It was really nice.
It went by way, way too fast.
Well, it did. Well, especially where we were there. Yeah, that part went by fast. But 2 weeks was a long time to be away from home. And the last 2 days, of course, we weren't looking forward to anything but getting to the hotel and then getting home. When you're going out and you're anticipating getting to places, it's not near as big a deal. But when you're coming home, it's like, oh, I just want to get home. But I wouldn't trade it for anything because it's something I've always wanted to do. We got to see Rushmore. We got to see Devil's Tower. Went through Glacier, not through the main part of Glacier National Park, but got to see some cool stuff. And I'll show you a picture from there here in a minute.
So we had go ahead.
I got to find out where we got to see canola.
Canola.
We got to see canola growing. Have you ever seen canola?
Yeah.
In the field? We're going through Washington, northwestern Oregon and Washington, going up toward Pullman, and we see these beautiful fields of wheat, dark green stuff, and we figured it was all wheat. And then all of a sudden you see this kind of a yellow-green color, And we're like, what is that? So Brenda finally looked it up on the phone. It was canola.
Wow.
Big, giant fields. And I mean, out there's nothing else out there but the fields of this stuff, you know, where they're farming it. And it was just beautiful to see. And she's got some pictures. I'll try and get those downloaded and get those where I kind of show you that kind of stuff maybe next week. But it was kind of neat to see because I'd never seen canola before. I'd heard of canola oil, but I'd never seen it growing. And it was interesting to see that. So, yeah, you know, stuff like that was a lot of fun.
Had a bunch of people join us, Steve.
Yeah, we have. Let's go. Digger jumped in. John Tanzillo. We've got Dave, Crooked River and Eastern. Hey, we got Plumber 33 dropped in. And John, Schuylkill River Valley, DS Multimedia. And I think I saw somebody else. I think that was
canola is oil. It's an oil. They make oil out of it.
Yeah. Cooking oil.
Cooking oil.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to show you a picture of, let me find it here right quick. This was up, we went around the south end of the main part of Glacier National Park, and it was kind of neat because we ended up finding some stuff that was pretty cool. And I have, oh, here it is. Okay. Let me get this up on the screen right quick. We're driving through the mountains, beautiful scenery, and this is what we came. Come on, that's not what I want.
Hey, Claude, Steve Anderson wants to know if you went through the hops fields in Idaho.
Not that I know of. We got to Idaho. We came in through Washington, into Pullum, and then drove over to Moscow. We stayed in Moscow, which is, our hotel was right on the state line. I mean, right outside our window was the state line. What's that?
That was like a rabid hamster.
Yeah. Is that you, Dennis?
Anyway, we went from there up to Coeur d'Alene and then up to Sandpoint. So I don't know that there was any hops up that way, but if there was, I didn't notice it.
This is like a bird.
It's me. Message.
Ah.
Okay. I don't know what that other noise was. It sounded like a keyboard.
Now I can share this here.
Oh, God, Gus, you're going to kill me, dude. Oh, man.
Come on.
Gus stinks.
There we go. Okay, this is what we saw, and I actually pulled over when I saw this. You guys can see that okay. This is a steel bridge going over, you know, obviously a little ravine there. But we had this, and then a few seconds later, we saw this. Amtrak comes shooting over at the top of it.
Oh, that's cool.
That was pretty cool, and you guys might like to see that.
That's a cool shot.
Yeah.
Where was this at?
This was on Highway 2, which goes between West Glacier Village and East Glacier Village, and it goes over the Continental Divide. Train ran down through the same place where the highway went. So that's, you know, was the best pass through the mountains there near Glacier Park. In fact, we go through part of Glacier Park, but not where the glaciers were. So anyway, that's that was one of the pictures. Anyway, I'll have some more pictures next week that I'll show you, because I had some stuff kind of keeping them with what Bill was talking about, and also about planting trees. I saw these pictures, and they're on my wife's phone because I was driving. She was taking pictures. But I saw this formation on the side of the road, and I thought, that looks exactly like a model railroad would do. Not nearly enough trees on it. You'll know what I mean when you see it. But anyway, it's pretty funny, and I'll show you some of that stuff next week. But enough of my trip. Steve had some neat stuff. Did you want me to put that up, Steve?
Yeah,
Okay.
put up some of those pictures. Yeah.
Let me get this. Hang on a second.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Steve didn't get it running while we were
No,
there.
I fried my last throttle valve in there, but I got that situation corrected. I moved it to the back end of the locomotive, did some replumbing, which actually wasn't that hard to fix. And man, it's been firing great ever since. The throttle valve is so nice, very smooth. Got it out on the track day before yesterday for the first time, and it actually had a few issues, but nothing huge, and it ran pretty darn good. Where's that? Oh,
He's riding side saddle.
show the whole video.
Well, I can't show the whole. You sent it to me in pieces. What do you want me to do? I haven't had time to edit this stuff.
No, I sent you the whole thing.
Well, I don't know where it is, but.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll
Are you
work.
seeing that one? Yeah, you see that one. There's the other one.
Yeah, she ran pretty darn good.
Well, it's good to see it running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Especially
having
after all
my
that work.
was having my doubts.
Now tell them where this is, Steve, because this isn't Train Mountain.
No, this is in Medford. This is the Southern Oregon Life Steamers. Here.
Is that closer to you?
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, it did pretty good. It didn't like pulling Tim Park because he's a big boy. But they've got their mountain section. There's about a 2% grade, so it was a pretty good test of it. I've got a few adjustments I got to make on some.
Did it handle the 2% grade all right?
Yeah, with just me and the train, but anything else, it didn't. But I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna adjust the linkage between the tender and the locomotive to try to get some more weight on the back end of that thing to help. But we've got some sound going on someplace.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure where that's coming from.
That's you, Jerry?
No.
Huh. Weird. But yeah, you're
Probably
looking straight down in that cab, and you're right over the stack, so you're breathing the oil smoke and the propane, which is not fun. But yeah, all in all, it was a pretty good first test. I was pretty happy with it. I would not want to be on that thing very long, but
We're going to see you going with a gas mask on, right?
Oh yeah. Well, just the ergonomics of you're sitting so squat on the thing. My back was not real happy after that day running, but
I can understand that.
It did good though. I was pretty happy with it.
I look good.
I don't think it's Jerry. Jerry, it's not you. I'm not sure what's causing that.
I don't know.
It's probably me. I had issues with my sound right when I first got on.
Well, if I mute Dennis, see if it still goes. I don't hear it now. It's Dennis.
Hey, Claude. Chuck's right. That video's on Tim's channel. Maybe you can throw a link up on it.
On Tim's channel.
Yeah, his is Tank Buster.
Okay, yeah, you sent me a link.
254, 245 or something. Yeah. Let me see if
I thought you sent that to me. Where did I see it?
Yeah, I know I also threw a video up of Tim running that thing, and he's like a tomato sitting on the head of a nail.
Okay. This might be, I think this is it.
Yeah, because Tim put up a pretty decent video montage of it, and he's got he had his GoPro on it. So he's sitting on the tender, and he had his legs wrapped around the cab with his feet resting on the running board. It was hilarious.
Let me get the silly thing set up.
Tank Buster 245. That was it. Thanks, Chuck.
There we go. Okay.
Hey, good morning, Eric. Watch Trackside.
Now
How are you doing, buddy?
You could see in the video clips that Claude showed what you were talking about, Steve, the size of the locomotive relative to even the freight cars that you were riding on, or the rest of the train.
Yeah,
they look huge next to this little thing.
Now, is this the one with Tim riding on it?
I think so. Yeah, I think it is. Or maybe this is
you. That's you riding on it.
Yeah, maybe that is. I can't tell.
No, that's him. That's Tim.
Yeah, that's Tim.
Oh, that's Tim operating your locomotive.
Yeah, that's Tim running it.
Now you can see how small that thing is. It'll almost fit around your Christmas tree.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. It's good to see it's running now, though.
Yeah.
After all that hard work, now you got to finish painting it.
Now I can work on minor issues and getting it all prettied up and get the tender painted and finished.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, Roy. Container Man 68. Let's see.
Yeah, I thought about Roy quite a bit on this trip because I know he's all over the country, and I'm thinking, I couldn't do that for a living anymore. When I was younger, maybe, but not anymore. It takes too much out of me now. So, Bill, what are you doing?
Oh, I got a little bit of stuff done here. I'll show you. So, been working on that little cabin scene for the most part and more scenery. So let me grab this here. Let's see. Okay. Well, I've got the little cabin scene mostly done. I did kit bashing on that. Ended up using a brown paper sack that I painted flat black to make a tar paper roof. Little twigs to make the wood piles, added a little static grass and some stumps.
God, that beer still hasn't got Shannon yet, huh?
Not yet. One of these days. So did the scenery in and around here. You know, got the little burn barrel, got the driveway, the old grade crossing added in. A lot of scenery added into this area here. So I've added in lots more trees coming around this corner. I've been working on that the past couple of weeks. Let's see, coming around over this way. So I've got the still painted. I don't know if you can see it well here, but I've got it in position.
Yeah.
Got the little trail that takes you on up to the cabin put in. So I'm making up another batch of 11 pine trees, and I think that will finish this. And then I'm going to do some super trees, kind of add a few of those in here, a few super trees right in here. That way I can keep this area open. So, when you're looking at it, you can see the still. But, this module is almost done. Got the ballast added to the tracks. That's all glued in. I was running trains yesterday and just sitting back and enjoying. So I've got the trees under construction. I've got the trunks being built right now. By the end of the weekend, I'll probably have this pretty well done.
Boy, that scene looks amazing, Bill.
It does. It looks like the Western United States, Northwestern United States.
Yep.
Because I noticed.
Parts of West Virginia, and even parts of Virginia, not far from where I am. I just go about 10 miles out of town, and I'm seeing this along the side of the roads.
That could be running between here and Train Mountain. It looks just like that. That scene looks just like that.
Yeah, I'm used to Colorado forest, and they're slightly different than what you see in the Northwest. You get a lot more different kinds of pine trees in the Northwest, and they're much thicker. The forest off the side of the road, you can't hardly see through.
Yeah.
You know? In
And
Colorado,
Bill,
can see
your
through it a little
layout
bit.
lends itself so much to photo ops. You can do so many angles on that it would look like a massive layout, and no one would ever know it.
Yeah, that's what I have fun with when I'm doing my videos of the trains running. And I've got a video that'll go live in about a week and a half from where I was yesterday running the trains. And yeah, it's fun. You know, right now I've counted, I have 296 big scratch built trees on the layout.
Wow.
And that doesn't include any of the, little itty bitty scrub brush or the dead trees. That's all just the scratch built ones.
And you still have a lot more to do, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've got, you can see it over here. That batch of trees right there should take care of this part of the layout. Got a few little ones that are kind of sitting over there that are the base of a couple of the super trees that I'm going to build to kind of put in and around the still. But it's not going to be too long before I can start coming over here and start working on this piece. What I am going to do is once I get rid of that shaper today, this will be able to go over another couple of feet. And then I can turn and I can get my other layouts out, dust them off, and I can actually run my other layouts because I'll have that additional space so that I can pull everything this way and I can get access to all three of them at the same time. Well, right now I can't until that shaper is gone and I get that extra footprint in the garage. That's what's been keeping me out of mischief.
Man, that looks amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Bill, the plumber says, I super glued my fingers together trying your initial way to make trees.
That is why I now use the Gorilla Glue for the wood glue, and then use sandwich bag little twist ties to kind of hold them together. I'm going away from super glue as much as I can because I did the same thing. I glue my fingers together and it's like pop.
Yeah, if you're using super glue, you're gonna stick your fingers to something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm using super glue on anymore is like the tops of the trees where I'll use the heat shrink tubing. I'll add a little drop of super glue to the top of the tree before I slide the tubing over it. And then I'll add another drop of super glue to the toothpick that goes down, rests on top of the tree armature. While I'm heat shrinking it up, and once it sets, it's nice and tight. Then I can slide the filter material over the top of it without breaking that little bond that keeps the toothpick straight up. That's the only thing I'm using super glue on. Everything else is wood glue these days.
Yeah.
Quicker.
What's the heat shrink for?
That holds the toothpick on the top of the trees, so that I've got my taper
I missed that
goes up. So I just cut it into about 3/4 to 1 inch pieces, and it'll slide right over the top of most of the grapevine wire. Some of it you might have to snip a little bit to get it where it'll go over, but I'll super glue it, put the heat shrink tube on, and then the super glue on the bottom of the toothpick, slide that down into the heat shrink, then gently use an old soldering iron to heat shrink around it. Pulls it all together, and then when the super glue sits, you've got a nice bond. And then I come back in, paint that part of it with wood glue, and then roll that in the Woodland Scenics ground cover so it matches the rest of the trunk. And then I've got a tree ready to put the foliage on.
Bill, you might try what you can do. Not a lot of people don't know this, but you can use needle nose pliers. If you've got some long needle nose that get real fine at the end, you can actually stretch that heat shrink a little bit, and it'll still shrink down.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you need a little bit bigger end than what you've got, but you don't want to go to a bigger size heat shrink, you can just kind of spread that a little bit.
Yeah, that would work.
And stick it on there.
Hey, Bill, so is there a scale that probably there is few that this grapevine wire won't make good trees for?
Probably end scale. If you're just trying to do small trees, it probably wouldn't be the best. If you're doing like a tall forest in end scale, you could use just a single strand of that grapevine wire, add the toothpick to the top, the ground cover, and you would be able to make some nice tall end scale pine trees out of it.
Okay.
But to make the bigger trees, it's using multiple pieces of the grapevine wire just wouldn't work that well at end scale. Now you could make a deciduous tree in end scale using that; it would probably work pretty well.
Yeah, I would think maybe wooden skewers would work better for pine trees in end scale.
Yeah, for smaller ones, if you're wanting to get the tall trees, the wood skewers that I've seen, you can get up to like 4.5 inches. Makes for a nice tall tree, but if you're wanting to do a really tall pine forest, you go into the grapevine wire, they'll get you that extra height. Or using a wood skewer on the end of a grapevine wire.
Yeah. Well, we've got some in the grocery store here. They've got some skewers that are about 3 foot long.
Wow.
And they're about 3/16 or maybe a little bigger than that. No, they're probably more like not 3/16, probably more like almost 1/4 inch, I guess, diameter. But they're from doing marshmallows, roasting marshmallows in the campfire. I saw them in the store and I thought, what are those for? And then they had it there with all the s'more stuff, so you can make s'mores. But I thought that could be used for something, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Brian, good morning, Brian. Iron Horse Root. Hey, we found something for you at Train Mountain.
Yep. Yeah, I'll be sending it to you, Brian. In fact, I got it right here on the desk, but it's wrapped up so you can't see it.
You can't see it.
I'm not going
Also
to give
had
it
Rick
away.
Bailey pop in. Welcome, Rick.
Hey, fellas.
Let's see, what do we got here? What's going on in chat?
Steve Anderson saying that now cedar trees work well. They're bigger at the base than pine trees. Yeah.
Yep.
I bet they don't have any big redwoods on it like we saw.
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, Steve took us over to the, what was that, Jedediah?
Yeah, Smith River area. Yeah.
Redwood Forest. And it was like driving into another world. Ferns and giant redwood trees. Not the sequoia trees, but redwood trees.
Yeah.
Just huge.
Yeah, these things are 3,000 years old. They are.
How tall are they?
Tall.
Yeah, you couldn't see the tops of them from inside the forest.
No.
Really?
They're hundreds.
Actually, it's where they filmed the speeder scene in Star Wars. They filmed that right there.
And it looks like it. I mean, you go in and it looks like you're in Jurassic Park or something,
Wow.
But it's a pretty cool thing to see. But we did that when we went over to the coast. Anybody got questions for Bill?
Annie didn't want to walk on the sand, though. She was kind of
Yeah.
a
My
prude.
dog, she did not like the soft sand. She walked off of the steps and stepped onto that soft sand. It was like, no.
Is that your dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, their dogs are awesome.
Yeah, she's down here nursing her paw. She was limping last night, and we got to looking, and she cut one of her pads. We don't know how, but she had to have done it last night when we got home. So she's recovering from that. But they're both laying right here, sound asleep. But they were great on the trip. They slept in the back. The last couple of days, Annie got a little antsy. We'd get back in the car, and she'd do a little whining and stuff. But the roads were not real smooth both those days, and so we don't know if it was the roads that she didn't like, or
So I guess
she was in the car again.
the hotels you stayed at were pet friendly?
Yeah, all of them were pet friendly. The place we stayed at in Grants Pass was awesome. It was a lady that has a place right on the Rogue River. She has dogs, and she's got 2 places that she can have people come in. And the one we were in was separate from the house. Had plenty of room in there. She had a refrigerator, full size refrigerator, not full size, but bigger than a mini fridge. all the stuff to cook with and all that kind of stuff. And she even had a makeup mirror in there, which Brenda found very, very nice.
What did she name that? The Stay Put Inn or something like that?
Done moving.
Done moving. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, she was a great host and hostess, and had plenty of room for the dogs in a fenced yard and all that stuff. And so we were there 4 nights, and it was a really nice place.
Yeah, they had a pool and nice grass area.
That pool you could go in. It was right on the river. You know, we didn't even go around the river till the last day when Steve came over there, and we walked around and saw where the river was. But we used it mainly just as base camp to go do stuff there in Grants Pass. But yeah, the dogs did great. The only bad part was fireworks for Lily. She gets crazy with those, but once we drugged her, she was okay. So that was the only issue we had with the dogs.
And they got to meet Gus. That was interesting.
They got to meet Gus. Oh yeah, Gus and Blue both. Blue likes to wipe his nose on you. So
yeah. Yeah, he's the wettest, nastiest dog I've ever been around.
And yeah, he was so excited to see people, different people, I guess, and he was all over us. But good dogs.
Yeah, and I love the way they pray. That is just so cool.
Yeah. Oh, Chuck.
Yep.
He said he loves the way the little dog prays. Yeah, we've taught him to pray, and so you give them a treat. We taught them to pray. You put your arm up there, and they'll put their head down and pray.
And they'll stand up. They'll dance, and oh god.
Yeah, they're pretty good tricks.
You could have made some side money on the way, Claude. Set up a little.
Well, they're not that good. I mean, they're not like the best.
Little stand on the beach or something.
Yeah.
They're a hell of a lot better trained than mine are.
Well, that's true. Well, that's only because Annie's timid around other dogs, so she's not a problem. but Lily's crazy when she sees any other dog. So
we got
a lot of people commented on Annie because they hadn't seen an Aussie that's that small.
Yeah.
You have 2 dogs, Claude?
Yeah.
Both the same breed? Same breeds?
No. There's Annie. She's sleeping.
She's pretty.
She's 24 pounds. Everybody thought she was a puppy, and she's 9 years old. Oops. And then there's Lily. She's a Morkie, half Maltese, half Yorkie. And she's the one that doesn't like fireworks.
Yeah, well, not many animals.
But yeah, they're great dogs. And like I say, they travel really well. They're better than kids because, how kids are in the car. Are we there yet? The dogs don't do that. So they slept when we were between stops. Not a problem. But they did get tired. I think they were tired of being in the car that last day.
I would be.
I was getting tired of being in the car.
Yeah, that's a lot of miles, man.
Our longest drive was 9.5 hours. That was the one through Nevada from Vegas to Tahoe. Then the shortest one was 5.5 hours, and that was from Moscow to Whitefish, which is over by Glacier National Park.
How long did this all take to do?
Say again?
How long did this all take to do? 2 weeks?
We were gone 15 days, but we stayed 4 days in Grants Pass. We stayed 2 days at Train Mountain. Not 2 days, 2 nights. So every other night that we stopped besides those 2 spots were 1 night stops. And we drove 5,500 miles in just over 100 hours worth of driving time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that included going over the coast when we were down there with Steve and seeing the redwoods and going to the coast and that kind of stuff. And then, of course, driving around when we got up to Mount Rushmore, we came in by Devil's Tower, which is really cool to see. And, you've seen it in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but to see it in context of where it sits, when you come up on the highway, you come around the corner and there it is. And it's like, whoa, that's pretty cool. But we went from there and then we went over to Crazy Horse that they're doing, the new statue that they're doing. That's going to be an awesome statue when they get finished with it. And then we did the Needles Highway, which if you go to Mount Rushmore, you got to do the Needles Highway. That is really cool. Talk about rock formations, and I've got some pictures of that too, but I'll show it next week. That was pretty neat. And then we went to Mount Rushmore and saw that. And from where the dogs could go, we could see it just fine. So that wasn't a problem. I was afraid that was going to be, an issue, but it's
Right. Certain places you couldn't take your dogs.
We could. They could only go up to and I don't know what they call that. It's almost like a front porch, if you want, off the parking lot. They've got a multi-tiered parking lot, and it's up higher in the mountains than I thought it was. From what I had always seen pictures of, you never see the surrounding area. Well, it's up pretty high above the city of Rapid City. Yeah, Rapid City. It's pretty high up off the plain up there, but we could see it just fine. We could walk up to that one point. We couldn't go down to the gift shop with them and down to I think they've got a little amphitheater down there in front where they do, shows or whatever, but we couldn't go down there. But from where we were, we could see it just fine. So that was the main reason to go there, was to see it. So, but yeah, that whole area has got a lot of stuff to do. I never realized how many things there were to do in that area. So if you're, thinking it's out in the middle of nowhere and you don't want to drive that far just to see the Mount Rushmore, there's a lot of other stuff to do.
Now, how close could you get to Devil's Tower, Claude?
Oh, you can drive right up to the base of it.
Oh, okay.
We didn't. We stayed out on the highway, but there's a road that goes back into it to the visitor center and stuff. But from where we were on the road, we could see it just fine. And it's, it's a rock. It's a volcanic rock uplift. And so there's getting closer. I don't know that does you much good. If you back a little ways from it, you can see it a little bit better, I think. So what are you going to do there? We're not going to climb it. We weren't going to get out and climb it. So, and we're not hikers, so we didn't go up there, but I'm sure there's probably trails around it and that sort of thing too. But it was kind of cool to see. It was a lot of fun.
Sounds like you had a good time. Hey, Dennis.
Yeah, like Roy says, you can see Devil's Tower and Crazy Horse from the highway. And yeah, you have to get off the main highway to see Rushmore. It's up. We took the Iron Road, which you really want to do, and I'll show pictures of that too next week, because there's a cave or a tunnel that you come through that's only big enough for cars to go through. But when you come around the corner and you're going through this tunnel, they've got the trees cut out so you can see Mount Rushmore through this tunnel. So it's almost like a picture frame kind of thing. It's
cool.
Pretty cool. But like I say, there's a lot of things to see in that area that I had no idea of. Another place that was really cool that you could go and do your whole vacation there is Flathead Lake on the southwest side of Glacier National Park. That is one of the prettiest lakes I've seen. It's beautiful area. It's a very large lake, so there's lots of places around it to stay. I'm sure the water's pretty cold, but you can boat on it, you can water ski on it. They were doing all kinds of water sports there on it, but it's a really pretty setting in my opinion.
Claude, I got a question about Crazy Horse. Did you guys stop and look at anything that says how long they expect to be working on that before it's completed? Because I saw it in the summer of '75, and they had the face roughly shaped out and some of the mountain cleared away, but I can't believe how little's been done in 50 years since I've seen.
They're in one of the buildings. They have pictures of the progression of what it's done. And yeah, early on, they didn't get very far, or it doesn't seem like they did. I know there's a lot of groundwork stuff they've got to do first before they can, do the finished carving stuff. But it took them, they had one picture of his hand. He's got his hand and he's going to be pointing. and they had it roughly done in this one picture, like in 2020. Well, in 2022, you can see like the knuckles and stuff where they've carved around that. So, I mean, that took 2 years to do that much. And then of course you go in the building and they've got a 1/300 scale model of what it's going to look like. And when it gets finished, and it probably won't be in our lifetime, I don't know how long it's going to take them, but it's going to take them a while. But it'll be awesome because they're going to have the horse head on there and everything. It's going to look really cool.
Now, I got a question for Bill. Geologically, how long will it take for that mountain to finally weather away? 1,000,000 years, 500,000? I mean, it's going to be around there for a long, long time.
Yeah, it depends upon the rock type. And for the like Rushmore and Crazy Horse, I think they're granite, they're igneous rocks, they're hard rocks.
Yeah.
They could be around for millions of years. Now, whether you can tell that they were carved for that entire period of time, maybe not. But they'll last for a very, very, very long time to show that something had been done to them.
Yeah. Well, they had a picture of Crazy Horse before they started. And there was a lot of forest much higher than it is now. They've cleared a lot of that away to be able to put this big carving in there. And it's much bigger than Rushmore. I think a lady was saying that if you took Crazy Horse's face and imposed Rushmore on that face, it would just go across the forehead, like a sweatband almost. That's the difference. But when you go to Rushmore, it looks pretty good size. But those faces, she said, were only 35 or so feet tall because they were supposed to be all the way to the waist. And when World War II came along, they stopped, and it never got restarted again. So that's why they only have as much as they have on Rushmore. But Crazy Horse is much, much bigger than that. It's kind of hard to tell that. We didn't go up. You can go up to the base of Crazy Horse too, but you got to take a bus, and of course couldn't take them up there with the dogs. But it's a lot bigger. But it's like I say, that's a neat area to go see. It's it's history of the country, that sort of thing, and there's a lot of stuff up there. So it's a great place to go vacation.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. I thought so. I mean, I'd never been up there, and Rushmore was kind of an afterthought after I said, well, let's go up to Coeur d'Alene, because I'd always wanted to go up there, and that's a beautiful area too. And then we got over to Rapid City because we thought, well, we got to come back east and then go south, and Rapid City's kind of on the way. Let's go ahead and see Rushmore while we're there. And it was more of an afterthought, and it was one of the best places. We were trying to figure the best places that we went and the best things we liked. Of course, going to see Steve in Grants Pass was the highlight of the trip. But the other stops, we were trying to decide what was the best, and we couldn't really come up with anything. Because everything was good.
So, Claude, absolutely no trains on this trip. Just Train Mountain.
Just Train Mountain. Oh, we saw lots of trains.
But you didn't go any train excursion places?
No, I didn't. We didn't go to see any trains. Train Mountain was the only place that did anything like that. But now we were eating lunch in Flagstaff, and the restaurant we were eating at probably wasn't 150 yards off the tracks that come through there. Right, and there must have been 5 intermodals came through while we were sitting there.
Oh yeah, that's the old.
None of them blowing the horns.
That's the old Santa Fe Transcon. That's all the traffic from the east to the west coast funnels right through there.
And my guess is they've got a deal with the city that they can't blow the horn going through the grades and through the crossings, because there's a lot of crossings right there.
Yeah.
One horn, not one. Horn.
They'll get 30, 40, 50 trains a day through there.
Yeah. Yeah. We were there for an hour, and there was 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they weren't super long ones, but they were all intermodals. Now,
there's parts of
Arizona, New Mexico, and Arizona. We saw some intermodals that were very, very long. Had mid helpers and rear helpers on them. So they had some long intermodals out there, but you can see them from a long way. You can see a train. I even had Brenda spotting trains because you could see them, out on that flat ground. You could see them a long way off. Saw some up in Wyoming. I saw the Amtrak and some others in Wyoming. We saw a lot of trains on the tracks, but I wasn't there to train, watch the trains. We just happened to see them.
Back to Crazy Horse. Digger says that if it's one guy with a chisel, it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a lot of guys with jackhammers and drilling equipment and all kinds of stuff. They've got a pretty good setup there at the base that explains a lot of it. And they've got a museum there. And
I saw some little documentary somewhere that was pretty interesting. I wish they would do more of them.
I think they're doing Crazy Horse the same way they did Mount Rushmore. I believe they're the same methods.
Oh, probably. Yeah, it's granite. Yeah, it's granite rock, so it's very hard. They're having to drill it and stuff. And of course, they got to be careful because you don't want to do too much. It's going to be a carving, so if you take too much off, then you're kind of screwed up.
Yeah, once you break it off, you can't put it back.
Yeah. Okay, Dennis has been muted all this time.
Yeah, Dennis. Nothing's new with me, so I yield my time to Dennis. What's up with you, Dennis?
Okay.
Well, now we can't hear him. He's unmuted, but we can't hear him.
Switch my camera here real quick.
Oh, there he is.
And you only got 9 minutes. No pressure.
Oh, that's easy enough. Let me get him.
Oh, yeah. I remember you talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
So this is how I came up with how my spline is going to interface here. And it turned out pretty good. I just had to come in with some spacers here. And then I wanted a nice flat area that I could interface the spline to the actual roadbed as it leaves the staging yard. We'll come around this way. So you can see I've got kind of some risers in. I don't have all of them in yet, but you can see you're going to come in right here. There's 8 or 10 inches difference. And it's just going to loop around here.
That's pretty cool.
And then come up. And of course, from here, give or take, to here, give or take, will all be hidden. You won't be able to see any of that. But then you'll come out here. And it's about 15 inches difference from staging yard to here. And then this is the first town. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is figuring out where does the town sit and how much actual plywood will I need to make it all fit in there, because there's going to be my scenery, I want to be high enough that I don't have to put in like a backdrop. I want the actual mountain to be the backdrop. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. And of course, all of the bench work, I'm hoping this works the way I want it to, but I think it's going to work pretty good. That's really all I've done, which it's been a lot.
John Tanzilla says he hopes you have a lot of clamps.
I do. I actually just got an order of 30 clamps in from Amazon sometime this week. So, of course, I'm not going to try and glue it all at once. I'm going to do, just whatever I can do that all the clamps that I have will work for. So I'm thinking maybe 24 feet.
How many layers of that do you attach to each other then?
Right now, I'm thinking 5. 5 is the plan. If 5 works, then I'll go with 5. And if it doesn't, then I know for sure 7 works for HO. Of course, I'm narrow gauge, so I know 5 will work. It's just a matter of whether or not I should do a 6th layer for just overall width
Yeah.
or not. But five
What kind
is
of
the
glue do
plan.
you use?
Do what?
Glue. What kind?
I'm going to use just regular wood glue, the yellow wood glue.
Yeah, I got you.
I think that'll work fine. I've heard that you can do it with hot glue, like industrial hot glue, and you can get it done a lot quicker because you don't have to wait on it to dry.
Yeah.
But if I had a helper, I might consider that. But with just me and myself, I think
Yeah, it's
better
too
off
hard.
just to
Well,
Yeah.
do the clamps.
yeah, wood glue is going to be a good option because once you glue those splines together, it'll be there from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have an issue with glue dripping down on your rug?
I will. That's why I'm going to have drop cloths. So it's another reason
It's going to be a
why I
mess.
will do it a little bit at a time.
That's
Yeah.
why my rug's not going in until after I'm finished.
Yeah, I wasn't smart enough to do that.
Well, that looks good, Dennis. That's a pretty good climb you got there, but you got a lot of feet of track there too to get there.
Yeah, if I've done everything right, it should be 2.08% grade.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Nice grade.
That's what my math says it is. And I guess we'll just have to see if it actually climbs that or not.
Oh, it will. Even the soundtrack stuff will go up there. Not soundtracks,
Blackstone.
engines will go up that. Now they may not pull a lot up there, but double heading's a lot of fun too. So
And that's just hardboard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you using like a little roller to apply the glue to those slats when you start to spline them up or build them up?
Well,
I
I
would.
haven't actually glued anything together yet. Right now,
Yeah.
everything's just held together with clamps.
It'll make your
my
job
plan was
so
to
much
use a
easier.
paintbrush. I
The
was going to use
roller-
just like a 3/4 inch or a 1-inch paintbrush and, put some glue in a tub or something like that. However it works, I haven't really thought that through yet, but the paintbrush is what I was going to do.
yeah.
Like I have a little silicone roller. It's about 4 inches. And I just have a little tray for it. And that works really awesome. It's fast.
Just like
Yeah.
what you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
you're not going to need a lot. Even just a very thin coat on it.
That's what the less it takes, the better is what I'm hoping. Just enough to get stick together. Because, other than the radiuses, it's not like it's
Yeah.
going to be under any real tension.
Mhm.
And I also think that on the radiuses, if I'm worried that it might delaminate because there wasn't enough glue, I think you can go in with screws.
Oh, sure.
And screw
Oh,
it together. So
But the
Yeah,
roller,
outside wrap, if you've got an end that comes up on it, you can run a screw in that. Yeah.
yeah, the roller's going to let you put it down really fast. So, especially in your climate, you if it takes you a long time to put it down, it could start skinning over because of your temperature.
yeah, I'm figuring I will
Try
probably
it
do
and see.
no more than 2 at a time. If if I find out that
It's
I
gotta-
can easily do 2, I might try and do 3.
It's got to be manageable for you.
Right.
Yeah, that's the important part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can already start seeing the scenery, based on where the track is. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. That's the fun
I
part.
would temper my excitement with diligence and prudence to make sure that I don't, extend too much, too fast, too far, and find out that I have to undo some crap because I got in a hurry.
Yeah.
I resemble that remark.
Have you ever seen guys use like spacers with those splines instead of like they
Yes.
just do one, then they'll glue spacers on and then do another? So it's not like a total lamination.
Yeah.
Have you seen that before?
That is an option. As a matter of fact, there's
Yeah.
one area where I'm going to have about 6 foot of straightaway track so I can have a passing siding as it goes into my first location. I'm considering maybe doing that there. I just haven't worked out the engineering part of that yet. Whether I want to use a chunk of 6 foot plywood or just put 10 or 12 chunks of the hardboard together in that area.
Yeah.
Because this, it's really pretty easy. Like one of the things I haven't done yet is this area here. I want to be able to have a drive-in programming track. So you just, wherever your road bed is, you clamp on another piece and you just start laminating from there. And, I'm going to do that eventually. That's why one of the reasons why this over here, the first thing I showed you, is as wide as it is because I want to be able to come in there with another set of 5 laminates for a drive-on program track.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's working out. For a large layout like you're going to have, that's doing the spline is probably the way to go. It gives you so much more scenery options as far as, changing elevation kind of things.
Yeah.
Because when you're putting in plywood, then, you like I did, I've got a 3 or 4 inch wide piece of plywood that I put my road bed on. Well, now I'm stuck with that width at the top. Not that it's a bad thing, and for most of mine it worked out just fine. But with the spline on a mountain type layout like you're going to have, you're much better off with your scenery that way.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I want to go with 5 instead of 6. If I can keep it just the exact width of the rail, which it nearly is a perfect match. It's just a little bit wider than the width of the actual track. I can always come in with a piece of cardboard, which I've got a lot of cardboard. Right before I retired from the military, we got in a grand marimba, which if you know what a grand marimba is, they're huge. Like 8 or 10 feet wide, and the cardboard box that it came in was like over the top huge, and I took every bit of that cardboard, and it's like a 1/4 of an inch thick cardboard.
Yeah, real heavy stuff.
So I got all of that. So I've got lots of options for how I'm going to create the scenery shell, because I want to experiment with all of the different ways of doing it. For the sheer mountains, obviously I'm going to use foam, where you can just cut it in strips and stick it together and have it kind of reflect what it is already. And then I also want to look at cheesecloth and maybe having, the network of the cardboard interwoven, possibly with Walmart bags. My wife collects Walmart bags. I mean, she's got a collection of old Walmart bags out of this world.
Plastic ones?
Do what?
The plastic type shopping bag?
Yeah, she loves them. I don't know why. Yeah. But you shove those with newspaper or something, and then you get this little balloon, and then you put that on top of your cardboard, and then cheesecloth on top of that is kind of what I'm thinking. And then you can actually drape the cheesecloth directly over the sub road bed before you lay the track. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I'm going to look in. Oh, hey, my wife's in the chat.
Busted.
He didn't mean nothing by that. It's a good thing.
But, honey, baby, it's true.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, my wife's going to love that part.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, see here. Here is the reason.
Yep.
Yeah, there's the reason.
Yeah,
right
which she
there.
does like twice a week, but you get 15. Which I'm glad, because they're going to work. That's my plan for all of those Walmart bags, is to stuff them with paper or.
She might not let you have them.
Yeah, she may not. You may have to use the cat box stuff.
Yeah.
Steal
Might
those
have to go
packs.
get your own.
Oh, well, that was a good end of the show, guys.
Yeah,
We're,
it
Get
was.
your own.
we're over a little bit here.
It's okay. It was a good one.
Anyway, thanks,
progress.
guys, for being here. Thanks, everybody in chat.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good
And,
week.
we'll see you next week.
Guys, take
Take
care.
care.
See ya.
Bye.